Hey, welcome to Keight Krafts. I'm Kate. Today I would like to share with you my make for Let's Get Lizicle's latest release. Let's get started. So to kick things off, I'm going to be working with the Sassy Santa stamp set today, just the stamps. And we are going to be using the Naughty or Nice, I'll be the judge of that, with a sub-sentiment on the inside. So we are going to take our Naughty Santa, we are going to stamp him out in some alcohol-friendly ink, and we're going to give him a good stamp. And once I've done that, I've gone ahead off camera, I've created a stamp mask for our Santa, and I've gone ahead and put him on our paper. Now, I'm using a scrap piece of paper to create a bit of a snowbank scene here. Now, you don't have to do this if you have a stencil, that would work too, or you don't have to even have a snowbank for him to be standing on. This was something that I wanted to do when I had received the stamp set in the mail. I don't know if you guys had watched my last video where I unboxed it, and Liz was kind enough to send me one, and I was pouring with inspiration that it was so hard to pick just one that I thought I would go with this. So I've created a snowbank with a scrap piece of paper, and we are just going to go around Santa, whom I maxed off with a full stick post-it note with some prize ribbon and some chipped sapphire. And this is going to create a bit of almost like a nighttime scene, but I really love how this card turns out. So we're just going around creating darker on the edges and lighter in the middle as it goes in towards Santa. And while I'm doing this, I probably should tell you a little bit about the stamp set. So this stamp set, with its coordinating dies or without, is enough to create one card. You can use all of the stamps on it, or the majority of the stamps on it, just to create a card, and you can create several different types of cards with this stamp set by itself. Now, if you add in the coordinating dies, you could do all sorts of things. I know, reviewing one of Liz's recent videos on this stamp set itself, you could do some paper layering with different ratios of Santa's body, and if you're curious as to what I'm talking about, I will be sure to leave links in the description box below of Liz's channel so you can go ahead and check out all of her inspiration videos that she's got on her channel currently, all of her videos that are coming up in the near future, and videos that come out later on in the future. I know she's close to reaching 1,000 subscribers, which is super exciting, and I couldn't be more proud of my friend. And the fact that she's kind of invited me along for the ride, well, I'm feeling pretty special. And to feel pretty special, we are going to peel off that little layer there, and we are going to go ahead and peel off that mask. Now, I've added a little bit of that paint that I was using. I honestly can't remember what kind of paint it was at this very moment. I'm sure I showed it in the previous screen, but I was too busy flapping my gums about how excited I am about that. So I've created a little bit of a snowbank that Santa is sitting on. Well, not sitting, but standing. And we are going to color him in some Copic markers. Now, I'm going with more of a traditional Santa Claus with the reds and the dark grays for the boots and the pinks for the face. Now, you can do however you want. You could do a pastel Santa, you could do a mismatched color Santa, however your heart desires. I mean, I know in one of her videos she had mentioned about doing some kind of Halloween Santa. I mean, come on, that would just be silly and kind of intriguing if you ask me. So, yeah, I've got this project and another project coming at you soon, and I have a project in the midst. Like I said, I've had a lot of side quests these past few months. If you know, you know. It's been a wild ride this summer, and I'm kind of behind on a lot of my projects, so I really appreciate you guys sticking around and toughing it out with me, and I'm really happy that you're here watching this video because this is pretty epic. Like, I'm so pleased that my friend finally sat down, came up with the concept of the ideas that she wanted to do, and she's sharing them with me. And in turn, I'm sharing them with you because I get to show you some inspiration using brand new stamps that are new on the market, brand new line, and I cannot wait to see what she comes out with and what kind of timeline. I mean, that's the burning question for me. Like, when's the next stamp set coming out? And I mean, this one isn't even released. So if you haven't yet already, click that subscribe button, maybe that notification bell if you're excited as I am about this stamp set. I know I'll be doing more makes with this and future sets to come. And if you haven't yet, head over to Liz's channel. Like maybe after this video if you're still watching it. If not, I completely understand, but when you get a chance, head over to Liz's videos or her channel, and if you haven't yet, give her channel a subscription, or subscribe to her box. You know what I mean. Go subscribe to her channel because she's got a lot of exciting ideas coming at you, and I just can't wait to join in on this wild ride that she's got planned out. I mean, yeah. Come on, stamp sets, dies, you had me. So we are going to round off some of Santa's boots and his little belt here in some C markers, and then we're going to tidy in some of his beard with the other C markers, so you can kind of see where where I'm going in with these, because you won't want to do all the way black. I find that if you do all the way black, you lose your detail on your black items, so you lose the detail in the boots. And I wanted to color in the beard and give it a little bit of dimension. So what I'm doing here is I'm just going in with the C3 marker and just flicking. All you gotta do is flick. If you don't know how to flick, test it out on a paper. Try flicking on a flicking paper. And then you could flick some more with another flicking marker. Oh, flick, I'm so sorry. I just flicking can't help myself. This stamp set's got me giddy. Anyway, so again with the flicking, you're just gonna go in with your medium tone marker. And then once you're done flicking with that one, you're gonna flick with the next marker. Okay, I'll stop. I'll see myself out now. Okay, I think I'm done. So we're going to go in with that lighter color gray, and we are just going to blend all of that gray in so you don't see too many of flick marks. And then once we're done with that and we've taken a breath, we'll go ahead and color in Santa's face. But first I'm going to take my 0 marker just to blend it out and lighten it up a little bit, because I found it was just a smidge too dark, but it ends up evening out in the end, and I really love the one layer aspect of this card, even though we do mount this onto other cardstock. So I'm going to come in with that R20 and the E000 and the E0, and we're going to give him a little bit of dimension to the face. I know in another card I used some E markers in the 50 range just to give it a bit of a look, like a different look. Like this gives Santa more of a peachy tone, whereas the E50 markers give it a little more of a muted skin tone, I think. So we're going to go in with that R20, give him some rosy cheeks and a rosy nose. And once we're done that, we're going to go ahead and go in with our sentiments. So I've chosen the naughty or nice. I'll be the judge of that. And we are just going to load that up with some black ink, and we're going to create a bit of a gradient. So I've got the I'll be the judge of that, and we're going to stamp that out in some Lawn Fawn jet black ink, and then we're going to come in with a bit of the red stamp as well. So I've got the naughty or nice, and we're using a Lawn Fawn's lobster ink. And I haven't completely stamped that out because I want to come back in with a little bit of the black ink and create a bit of a gradient. So very lightly I'm tapping the bottom of the nice and just kind of working my way up to see where I want that line to be. So you get the red at the top and a little bit of dark on the bottom. And very carefully I've added in that black just so you get a bit of that gradient, and I really appreciate how that turned out. So off camera I've gone ahead and used the coordinating dies to cut out the naughty or nice, and then I used my Tim Holtz guillotine trimmer to trim down the I will be the judge of that, so that way I've just got like a little sentiment there. And Forgive me while I struggle with taking off the release tape to my foam tape. I've added a little bit of thin foam tape to this just to prop it up to give it a little dimension because this is like a very flat card and I wanted to have that sentiment just pop out just a little bit, almost to be the star of the show, but not quite. Because that's Santa. I mean, come on. Look at that grumpy look on his face. I absolutely love it. I think he is so adorable, and you could just come up with so many different creative cards with that little grumpy Santa. Like, like one of the elves, or, a cat spilled a cup of milk or something that he would be disapproving of. So we'll go ahead and use our reverse tweezers and place that where I want that. And then we're going to figure out the placement for the I will be the judge of that. So once I'm happy with where I want to go, we are going to cut that off right there and it'll just say naughty or nice, I'll be the judge. And then we're going to pop that right underneath our sentiment. Try to do it straight. There we go. So we've got that nice and straight. Now it's time to add a little bit of detail. So I'm going in with a little bit of black ink and I'm just touching it with a paintbrush just to give a little bit of extra dimension. And I thought, you know what, while I'm at it, we're just going to bring some into the lettering here just to be a little more detail orientated with the stamp set and the sentiment. So I really like how this turned out. I thought it was a lot of fun to bring in a really fine paintbrush to add in that nice little detail. I mean, you could get a crisper line if you continued to stamp with it, but you guys, I was just so impatient. I was so excited. I wanted to get this done, and then I wanted to work on the next card, but then again, a side quest came into play, and it prevented me from creating the next card, which, don't worry, I've got another card on the way. You just have to stay tuned. And again, if you didn't hear me the first time, this comes out September 20th, and I'm so excited for the release. I'm so excited for, everybody to see what Liz has in store. So next we've got a little bit of my favorite, maybe your favorite, everybody's favorite, most likely. We've got a little bit of Wink of Stella. We are going to add a little bit of glitter to the beard, to the hat, and to the naughty, just to give it a little bit of interest. And once I am satisfied with the amount of glitter on the nice, almost there, just a little bit more, I think that's perfect. We are going to go ahead with the sentiment on the inside. Now, this card comes, or this stamp set comes with a main sentiment, a sub-sentiment, and I guess a sub-sub-sentiment. So you got two sentiments out in the front, and then you've got a sentiment in the inside. I'm not exactly sure what they're all called, but there's 3 sentiment stamps that I use specifically from the stamp set to make this card. And I love how it's a one and done stamp set that you just need the stamp set to create your card, and that's all you need. You don't need to really pull out anything else. I mean, you could, and I'm sure in the future that Liz will come up with some other coordinating stamps to go with this one. At least I would hope so. So I'm excited to see what comes of it. So we are going to write a little bit of squiggles here on our card. We've already gone ahead and mounted it on some red foil cardstock. And I've cut that down to just under 4 by 5 1/4. And then I cut the panel down from 4 to 5 1/4. And you get my point. So here you have my finished card. I really hope that you check out Let's Get Lizicle and her upcoming website this Friday, and maybe make a purchase or two. And if you haven't, remember to hit that subscribe button because I've got so much more inspiration to share with you. And as always, thank you for hanging out with me today. Take care.